Where are we? Here we are. Hello. Actually, hello to the invisible people. Just waiting until some of y'all join on in. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. If somebody is in the room, if you can please send a message in the chat, because it is not currently saying that there's any participants. It had a couple numbers and then we went to 0. So by chance you are watching this video, if you could just quickly hop into the comment section and write that you're here, because I think I'm having a little bit of connectivity issues on this end. And if you are there, I apologize for starting late. I'm going to give it a couple more minutes in case that you can hear me. And if you can hear me, if you can comment saying that you are watching the video. Okay, there we go. All right, hi. Sorry about that. It was saying that, I don't know, YouTube was being weird for a minute. Hello. My name is Julia. If you haven't taken any of my classes or if you are joining from the last session, thanks for joining again. What we're going to be focusing on today is working with some side crow action. So if you were in the last class, it's going to be a little bit more intense in this class of what we're going to be working with. So I would grab 2 blocks and a blanket. Blanket's just for extra padding. And those are the only props that we're going to need, possibly the wall space. So you can go ahead and get those props and get cozy. And I'll start the class in just another minute here. Okay. All right. And so for those who are just joining in that did not participate in the class before, what crow pose, the side crow pose is going to look like is just a crow pose, but our knees onto the side rather than balancing directly onto our triceps. So for a quick visual, crow pose, knees behind the triceps or possibly on the side, whichever is most comfortable, is an arm balancing pose. As such, good, with your tailbone up, your feet nice and high up into the air, and if you can't, that's okay. We'll get there at some point. It requires a lot of arm strength and core strength, and what the side crow is going to look like, and I'll come onto the side for a better visual, is essentially it's almost going to be like, and I don't want to say dumping our way into our arms from the side, but we are, but we're kind of planting our weight onto our arms to come balance here. And what a side crow looks like is just the legs are going to be onto the side, having our chaturanga arms coming forward with their chest and balancing our legs to the side. Good. So that's what we're going to be exploring with today. We'll go ahead and start some music. Good. And so the blocks are going to start from the top of the mat here. And then we're going to come onto our knees and we're going to come into a child's pose to start. So if you wanted some additional comfort for your knees, you can place a blanket underneath. Yeah, but we're going to go ahead and having our hands nice and active towards the front of the room. Good, rounding through the spine, bringing our chin to chest. And finding this deep connectivity with your breaths from your inhales and your exhales. And then as you are here into your child's pose, go ahead and allow yourself to bring some concentration into today's class. It's going to be present, it's going to be needed. As well as allowing yourself to not be intimidated by new things. If this pose is something new for yourself, or possibly a pose that we haven't practiced in a while, and we may feel that we could possibly have lost some strength or balance from it, which is totally okay. That happens in our lifetime. And today we can reapproach this with new light, new inspiration, and a new drive to become better in our yoga practice. From here, you can set an intention for your practice. And then as our arms are extended forward, we're going to inhale, lift up through the chest and walk your hands over towards the left side of the room, placing the right hand on top of the left. Three breaths. Just stretching to the side body. Let's go ahead and walk our hands over towards the right side of the room, stretching the left side. 3 breaths. Good. And go ahead and release the arms. And inhale. Come up all the way into a tabletop position and around through the spine, chin to chest like you would in cat. And inhale, come into your cow spine. Eye gaze forward. Exhale, round into your cat pose, chin to chest. Good. And then continue to alternate through these cat-cow motions to open up through the spine. This class is going to require twisting, hamstring opening, some core practices, and a little bit of arm balance here. Mainly the arm balance being into our peak pose. Good. So as we found a couple spinal elongations, we can come back into that tabletop and come into balanced tabletop by rising your left leg, pointed towards the back of the room, and the right arm forward. We want to engage through the core, lift up through the core, point the back toes towards the back of the room, or you can keep it flexed as if you're kicking your foot up on the wall and bringing your right arm towards the front of the room. Engage the core. 3 more breaths. Good. 5 times, bend the elbows, inhale, meet the elbow and the knee in the center, and exhale, straighten. 4 more times. And once you've done your total of 5, you go ahead and just drop the left toes to the ground, right hand to the ground, kickstand the right toes to the side. Warrior diagonal with the left foot, and inhale, rise, right arm towards the ceiling. As we stay here for 3 breaths, we're going to pendulum swing the right arm down, left arm down, or bring it towards the front of the room, opening our left chest more towards the left side. Side angle stretch. Getting a little deeper to the center of the ribs. Let's guide the left hand towards the mat just a little bit to arc in the center of the body. Good. And then square the hips. Left hand down. Bring the right leg back in. Switch the legs. Come balance tabletop. Right leg back. Left arm forward for 5 breaths. Looking up through the chest, through the center of the spine. Kicking the right leg towards the back of the room. The 5 times. Inhale, knee to elbow in the center. And exhale, release. Total of 5. Making sure that we engage our quad. Get some of that glute engagement as well. That we are pressing our right hand into the mat so that we're not crashing into our shoulders. Good. And then we're going to drop the right toes to the ground. Left hand to the ground. Kickstand our left foot to the side. Warrior diagonal right hand and bringing the right arm towards the ceiling. Warrior diagonal with the right foot at mat. Or it could be the monkey hand, because that's what a foot is. Then after those 3 breaths, we can pendulum swing the right hand down towards the front of the mat. Maybe eye gaze towards the hand here. And the next breath, possibly bringing the hand towards the ground, getting a little side body action. Bringing the right ribs up towards the ceiling. Good. And then gently release the right hand. Bring the left foot back. Come on all fours. And then keeping the hips up, we're going to walk our hands down into a extended puppy pose. So as we keep our hips up towards the ceiling, we're going to bring the tailbone up, tuck the pelvic underneath, guiding our stomach just a little closer towards our thighs, chest towards the ground. The blocks are towards the front of the mat. So if you wanted to open up more through the arms, you can place your hands onto the block. You can possibly place your forearms or your elbows onto the block and kind of shark fin your hands over your elbows. These are some possibilities to create more depth into your practice here. Two more breaths. And then we're going to go ahead and come off of the blocks here. Bring the blocks forward. Good. And then as we come here into our all fours, we're going to come back into the balanced tabletop again, sending the right foot back, left arm forward. We're going to bend at the right knee and inhale. Bring the left hand back. Grab onto the right foot and inhale. Press the right foot into your left hand. Lift up through the chest. 3 breaths. straighten out into your balanced tabletop. Drop the left hand. We're going to drop the right toes, kickstand the left foot again to the side. And then inhale, rise, right arm towards the ceiling, and then the right foot, Ardha Chandrasana, variation, half moon. Good. You can bend at the right knee once more. And then take the right hand onto the right foot and inhale, press the right foot into the right hand, opening up your chest to the right side of the room. 3 breaths. Good. Engage the core. Inhale, half moon, 3 breaths. Good. Drop the right foot to the ground. Engage the core. Rise with your left hand. Slide the right hand down. Inhale, side stretch to the right foot. 2 more breaths. Good. Inhale, rise, both arms towards the ceiling. And then we're going to go ahead and release, bringing the hands in front. And as we keep the legs where they're at, we're just going to bring the arms forward and bring our tailbone up, almost like we would in down dog. 3 breaths. Good. Coming back into your neutral tabletop. We're going to go on the opposite side now. Balanced tabletop, left leg back, right arm forward. As you find that balanced tabletop, go ahead and bend the left knee. Grab onto the left foot. 3 breaths. Inhale. Press the left foot into your right hand. Good. Inhale. Balanced tabletop. Lower the hand, lower the toes, kickstand the right leg. You know what to do. Come over and open up to your left side, rising up, a left arm towards the ceiling, and then coming into your Ardha Chandrasana variation. Bending at the left knee, grab the left hand, and inhale, press the left foot into the right hand. Left foot into the left hand, I should say. Good. 2 more breaths. Good. Inhale, Ardha Chandrasana for 3 breaths. And then lower the toes, lower the hands, re-square yourself. Come into a plank position. Hold your plank for 5 breaths. Shoulders are above the wrist, pressing your hands into the ground, back up towards the ceiling, glutes up towards the ceiling. Now arcing into the lower spine, engage the quads. Engage the glutes. Inhale, shift forward, chaturanga. Flip the feet into your upward facing dog. Chest is coming forward. Good. Then exhale, downward facing dog. Go ahead and pedal out through the feet here, 1 foot at a time. Here, bend the knees generously, eye gaze forward. Press the palms firmly down and inhale, hop to the front of the mat, Uttanasana, forward fold. Bend the knees, clasp onto the elbows and rock side to side here. Good. Hands to the shins. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise. Bring the palms together, Kali Mudra, and inhale, rise all the way up towards the ceiling, and even creating a back bend here. Good, and then exhale, release. 2 breaths. One more time, inhale, rise. Guide your Kali Mudra up towards the ceiling, just to follow back bend. And then palm. And then keep the Kali Mudra. Inhale, rise, straight spine. Start to bend at the knees, coming into your chair pose. Bring the tailbone back, chest is lifted, and your arms are lifted as well. 3 strong breaths. Palms together. Inhale, twist right elbow to the left knee. Lift up through the chest. If feet together work better for you, go ahead and do so. Good. Inhale to the center. And then exhale to the opposite side. 3 breaths. Good. Inhale to the center. Release, hands to the ground. Firmly press your hands into the ground. Engage the core. And inhale, hop your feet to the back. Plank. And as we are in plank, inhale, bend the right knee to the right elbow. Exhale, release. Inhale, left knee to left elbow. Exhale, release. Do this 5 times on each side, so total 10. Keeping your core engaged and navigating your knees to your elbows. Spine is straight. Good. After you've done 5 on each side, downward facing dog. Take about 3 breaths of rest here. Root to the left heel. Point your right toes back, 3-legged dog. Good. Bend the knee and then open up your hip crease for 3 breaths. Rooting through the heel, guide your chest down, spread the knees far apart. After the 3 breaths, straighten out the right leg as you are still twisted for 3 breaths. Good. Square through the hips and bend the right knee. Inhale to the right elbow. 2 breaths. Good. Exhale, release, 3-legged dog. Inhale, bend the knee, right elbow to the left. 3 breaths this time into a twist. And then after the 3 breaths, straighten your left leg out, flat right leg out, flat left foot, left arm towards the ceiling, side triangle. 3 breaths. And then release. Inhale, bend the left knee up towards the right knee up towards the ceiling. And then bend the right knee forward. Coming into your high lunge here. And then into your high lunge. Bring the arms back, engage the core. And then inhale, rise, arms up towards the ceiling. High lunge. As we are in our high lunge, we're going to press our palms together. Engage through the core and inhale, slowly bend the right knee, left knee to the ground. And flatten the left foot, Anjaneyasana breath. Wonderful. On the next breath, lift up through the chest and inhale, left elbow to the right thigh. Eye gaze over the right elbow. 2 more breaths for a total of 3. Good. Engage the core. Inhale, palms to the center. We're going to go ahead. Arms up, Anjaneyasana. Send the right knee towards the right pinky toe. And you keep the arms up. And you can inhale, come into a back bend. And with the exhale, release, hip hinging, hands to the mat. We're going to lift up through the left knee and guide the right toes to the right corner of the mat. And on the next inhale, guide your right hand to grab onto the left foot into this quad stretch, pressing the left foot into the right hand. Eye gaze over the right knee. 3 breaths. Good, and then dropping the left foot and bringing the right hand onto the right knee here. And inhale, guide the right knee towards the right pinky toe for 3 breaths, opening up the hip. Good. And we're going to guide that knee back. And then walking the foot back to the center here. We're going to come into the half splits. Guiding your chest towards the foot, either pointed forward or towards your face. Square the hips. Good. And then we bend at the right knee. Inhale, rise, arms up towards the ceiling, palms together. Inhale, come back into that Anjaneyasana twist. And from here, we're going to curl the left toes, keep the twist, engage the core, and inhale, straighten out the left leg. Good. And on the next breath, inhale, hike the left foot to the right into chair twist. Good. The inhale, palms to the heart center, hip hinge release. Finally, inhale, halfway left. Exhale, forward fold. Stay here for another breath or two. Good. And we're going to bend the knees generously and inhale, rise into chair. Pressing the palms together. And inhale, twist. Right elbow to the left thigh. Good. Taking things a little bit differently this time. We're going to go ahead, as the palms are together, we're going to send the left leg back into a high lunge twist. Good. And then slowly dropping the right knee, top of the right foot, Anjaneyasana twist. One more breath. On the next breath, inhale, engage the core, palms to the center, rise into your Anjaneyasana. Back bend if you wish. Good, and then exhale, hip hinge, forward fold. Go ahead, half splits with the left leg, toes pointed forward or towards your face. You always have your blocks too. If you feel like you need an additional boost, you can go ahead and use them. Good. You can go ahead, rebend at the front knee, and then point the left toes to the left side of the room. Point your right toes up towards the ceiling and inhale. Bring the left hand, grab onto the right foot, quad stretch for 3 breaths. Pressing the right foot into your left hand, eye gaze over the left shoulder. Dropping the left foot, right foot I should say, and placing the right hand onto the left knee and guide the left knee towards the left pinky. Eye gaze over the shoulder. 3 more breaths. Good. Bringing the knee in, placing the hand down, put it back into the Anjaneyasana prep. Bringing the arms back. And then inhale, rise, Anjaneyasana. Palms together. Inhale, come back into the Anjaneyasana twist. Curl the toes. Inhale, straighten the right leg. And the next breath, come back into that twisted chair. Here we go. And inhale, hands to the heart center. And then slowly release. Hip hinge forward fold. Good. To reverse, we're going to go ahead and this time we are going to send the right leg back, running lunge. Bend the left knee, inhale, 3-legged dog, straight first. For 3 breaths. And we're going to bend the knee and inhale, open up our hip crease, spreading the knees far apart, hinging at the hips for 3 breaths. And then for the next 3 breaths, we're going to straighten our leg as we stay in the twist. Good. Straight leg, square the hips. Bend the knee, inhale, knee to elbow for 2 breaths. Left elbow. Good, exhale, 3-legged dog. Bend the knee, inhale, left knee to right, elbow twist, 3 breaths. Good, and exhale, 3-legged dog. Lower the toes. Around through the spine, come into your plank, 5 breaths. Find that core engagement, glute engagement, crown to the front of the room, heels towards the back. Dropping the knees, child's pose. Go ahead and just take a couple of breaths here. Do some wrist therapies. You can press your or clench all your palms together and kind of rotate them here in circles. You can also press the back of the palms together. Go ahead and take a drink of water because the next segment we're going to do is come into crow pose. So once you're ready, you can take your hands to the ground. And then we're going to curl our toes. And we're going to walk our hands back, coming into a malasana pose. So we're walking ourselves back into our yogi squat. And if you can't do that, just go ahead and just stand up if you need to instead. And have the feet hip length apart, bending at the knees, coming into a yogi squat. Good. Pressing the hands onto the earth. Knees either on the outside of the triceps or on top of the triceps here. And we're going to come into crow pose. So if you know that you need some additional height to start, you can take blocks behind and place your feet on top of the blocks to hike your hips up, hands down, triceps, knees onto the triceps. You need to hinge forward, engage the core, and inhale, lift up through the toes, 1 foot at a time. Eye gaze to the floor, making sure we have full connection of the hands, and breathe. And then release once you're finished with your crow pose. Good. So now we're going to dive a little bit into the crow pose on side crow pose on each side, and then we're going to do a little variation of it, going through a flow, and then cooling down for our practice. So go ahead and press the back of the palms together, rotate through the wrists. So we're going to start on our right side with our crow pose. And so from here, we're just going to come up onto our tippy toes, rising up through the heels. And we're going to navigate our hands, so feet can be together, knees together, hands to the right side of the mat. So inhale, rise, left arm towards the ceiling, and then guiding it over to the outside of your right thigh. Okay. We're going to be nice and strong here, and we're going to bend our elbows like we would in chaturanga, and bring our chest forward. We're going to do the easy way to get into a side crow today. So our left or right hip crease wants to navigate towards the right tricep, and then naturally the right thigh is going to want to go onto the left arm. And over time, we're going to want to create space where it feels like we're full floating and we don't have to rely on the hip crease to the elbow, but that takes time. And if you can do it, then cool. You go ahead and bend at the elbows. And as you kind of come forward here, the secret, you can kind of tuck your elbow into that right hip crease, pressing the feet together, lifting up through the chest, lifting up through the feet, engaging the core. Come eye gaze forward, crow pose, 3 breaths. You can gently come out of that. Take a breath. And you can go ahead and do some wrist therapies. Pressing the back of the hands together, maybe onto the mat here. Anything to kind of gently release that. Good. And then we're going to go ahead and take it to the opposite side. So we're going to go ahead, find our perch here. And we're not necessarily just dumping our weight in to our arms. We're keeping our arms nice and strong, and we're just kind of placing. I feel like placing has a better definition for concentration and being aware of your body rather than just being into a pose. So go ahead, plant the left palm down, feet together, knees together. And if it's comfortable too, you can always put a block in between your knees so that they're not crunching into one another. We're going to inhale, rise, bringing the right arm to the outside of the left thigh. Good. Lifting up through the hips first and coming into that side crow. Hugging in that left elbow. And we're going to inhale, rise through the legs. 3 breaths. When you're ready to come out of it, just gently come out of it. And then come onto your shins here. And then placing the back of the hands onto the thighs. Good. And we're going to inhale, lift through the chest like we would in a cow spine. 2 breaths. Good, and then we're going to exhale, round through the spine, chin to chest for 3 breaths. Good, so now we have a little bit of an idea if you were back to back into these classes on the side crow pose. And just by practicing, if this was your first time, being like, okay, this is a lot of arm strength. This is a lot of wrist strength. This is also a lot of serratus anterior strength because we build that through our push-ups and through, just working on increasing our arm strength. It's great for keeping ourselves balanced into our chaturangas. Our quads are in place too, even stretching out through our obliques and our side body so that we're able to go into those twists. So if this is a practice that you'd like to go ahead and dive more into, then those are some qualities you have to think about. But let's try different ways to get into a crow pose, side crow pose, if it was a sequence. So we're going to come to the front of our mat here. We're going to gently bend the knees, bringing our hands down, coming to a forward fold. Maybe swaying the hips a little side to side. Good. I'm going to go ahead and bend the knees generously. Bringing the shoulders back, and then inhale, come into chair pose. Nice strong spine, arms up towards the ceiling. Good. And then we're going to place our palms together. Inhale, come into a twist, bringing the right elbow to the left thigh. Good. And then as we squat, we're going to press our feet together. Squat down more deep into our chair, guiding our hands to the sides. Inhale, side crow. Good. Exhale, release. Feet down. Good. Keeping the feet together. Lift up through the hips. Palms together. Back into that side twist. And then inhale to the center. Rise all the way up towards the ceiling. Keeping our arms up. Feet together. Inhale. Side bend over towards the left side of the room. Good. Inhale, arms up towards the ceiling. And exhale over towards the right side. Good. Arms up towards the ceiling. Keeping the feet together. We're going to go ahead and press our palms together. And if you have a block, I just remembered another good alteration. Before we go back into our chair pose, this is also a great way to keep the balance is when you are in the side crows, you can actually balance your head onto blocks so that it's less load onto your spine. And you can actually have them to stack if you wanted to so that you get more height. Good. You can place them in front if you wanted to try it. So the palms can be together, feet are going to be together. Inhale, arms up, coming into your chair pose for 3 breaths. Lifting up through the chest, engaging the back core, front core. And then palms together. And we're going to inhale, twist, right up, left elbow to the right thigh. And on the next breath, deepen your squat here. And then I would place the blocks where your head's going to be. Good. Place the hands onto the ground here. So blocks in between your palms. Good. And then we're just going to place the head onto the blocks and inhale, side crow. Good. Drop the feet. And then walk the hands back in front of your feet here. Palms together. Open back up into your Malasana squat. You can stay here if you wanted to. You can kind of open up through your knees, guiding your hands or guiding your knees away from your body. Rock it side to side. Let's go ahead and start to cool down from here. So place the hands onto the ground. Keep the left knee bent, but extend the right leg to the side into your ninja pose. Good. Flat left palm. Inhale, rise, right arm towards the ceiling. Good. Exhale, release. Bend the right knee, straighten the left. And inhale, rise. Left arm towards the ceiling. Right. And then come back into your ninja onto the left side. Bring in your arm up towards the ceiling. And then you can rotate the hand behind your back so you can twist more. Okay. And then ninja to the opposite side. Bring in the left arm towards the ceiling. Rotate the shoulder back. Bring the arm behind the back. Eye gaze over the left shoulder. And on the next breath, you can go ahead and release. Coming back into the center. Plopping your booty onto the ground. Keeping the right leg bent in and straightening the left leg out. Our blocks should be in front. Good. And we're going to go ahead and come forward here onto our forearms. Keeping the left knee and left toes pointed up towards the ceiling. Good. And you're welcome to navigate your arms forward to come into this hip hinge as we engage at the quads, bringing the tailbone back, lengthening out through the spine. Or maybe fists to stack. You go ahead on the next breath. Straighten out through your spine. Turn over in front of your left foot. And inhale, come forward, grabbing onto the shin. And you can find like a little bit around this into the spine. We're just stretching out through the hamstring here. You can grab onto the foot. You can grab onto the foot as well. If you have a strap with you, you're more than welcome to. I know I didn't provide it for the beginning of the class, but that's because it's not necessary at this time. It's just if you want to go deep, I guess you can. I'm going to grab, if you can, grab onto the foot. You can grab onto your left foot with your right hand. And slide your left hand to be inside of the left foot. Good. And then open up your right arm towards, like your armpit towards the ceiling, but keep the right arm towards the left toes. And very gently release, squaring. And you go ahead, come up, bend the left knee in, straighten the right leg out. And as we have that leg straightened out, you can go ahead and start to come onto your forearms, toes, and the right knee are rotated up towards the ceiling. Gain that external hip rotation, guiding your chest forward so we can link it up through the spine. And you can either bring your arms towards the front of the room, or you can stack your hip or your fists up to create a pillow. Good. You can gently walk back up. And then slide the right or the left knee more to the side. Square and look at your right foot. And you can bring your arms up towards the ceiling. Straight spine and hip hinge forward. Grabbing onto a shin, maybe onto the foot. Sending that right hip crease back. Coming into that hip hinge forward fold. You can guide the right hand to the inside of the right thigh. Pressing the arm and the knee to one another. Inhale. Open up through the chest. And keeping your left hand towards the right foot. Creating a side body stretch to the left side. 3 more breaths. And then inhale, rise, arms up towards the ceiling. Good. Bring in both the legs, opening up to the side. Good. And then bringing your forearms to the ground, or possibly forearms onto some blocks here. If your back is feeling especially tight today, you guide your chest forward, forearms to the ground, stretching out the inner part of your thighs, toes are pointed up. You're more than welcome to come into a deeper hip hinge here by bringing your forearms to the front of the room. Three more breaths. And inhale, rise, halfway lift. Let's go ahead and connect the feet together. Lifting up through the chest into butterfly pose. And as our hands are on our feet, we're going to inhale, open up through our chest into a cow spine. And exhale, chin to chest, round through the shoulders into a cat spine. And inhale, straight spine, and bring our arms forward, coming into a butterfly forward fold. You have your fists to stack on top of your head if you like, possibly a block for a pillow, or even extending your arms towards the front of the room. Inhale, rise, halfway lift. And then we're going to go ahead and navigate ourselves onto our spine. We're nearing the end of class here. So you go ahead and rock onto your spine, hugging your knees in towards your chest. And go ahead and give yourself a well-deserved spinal massage, rocking side to side. And if you have your blanket nearby, go ahead and grab the blanket as it's folded in half. You go ahead and fold it in half once more. Good. And so we're going to have our shoulders onto the blanket here. We're going to come into a shoulder stand. So we're going to have our feet close to our glutes, bending the knees into our chest, hands pressing into the mat. We're going to engage the core and inhale. Bring the hips up and point the toes towards the ceiling. Engage you through the core. Hands are going to be supporting the lower spine. Forearms pressing into the ground. Engage you through the core. 3 more breaths. And then as your toes are pointed, I'm going to go ahead and come into plow pose, pointing the toes towards the back of the room. Placing your feet onto the ground here. Bringing your tailbone up towards the ceiling. Hands can grab onto the mat. Stretching your tailbone up. Two more breaths. Hands supporting the lower spine. Engage the core. Inhale, bringing the toes up towards the ceiling. And I'm going to go ahead, bend the knees. Hands to the mat. Very slowly guide the spine back onto the mat. Hugging the knees in. Rocking side to side. And then removing the blanket from your shoulders. Go ahead, hug the knees in, coming into happy baby pose. Rocking yourself side to side, massaging your spine and finding a little more opening into the hips. Feet together, back onto the mat. Coming into a bridge pose, hands by the hips. We're going to inhale, bring the shoulders underneath, the rise hips up towards the ceiling, clam shell, your hands together, pressing them into the mat. You're really welcome to stay here at your bridge pose for a back bend, but if you would like to create more of a back bend, you can practice wheel pose, hand underneath your shoulders, and inhale, guiding your chest up towards the ceiling. And once you are done exploring, you very gently release. Spine to the mat, hips to the mat. Pointing the toes to the front of the mat. And taking a deep inhale, bringing your arms above your head. Inhaling through the nose. Exhaling through the mouth. You go ahead and find yourself into your Shavasana pose. And enjoy the next few moments here. And as we lie here in our Shavasana, I picked a quote that resonated with today's practice. And the quote is by Corrie ten Boom. That worry does not empty tomorrow of its sorrow. It empties today of its strength. So you're more than welcome to stay here in your Shavasana, or if you'd like to continue on with your night today, you can start to reawaken your body by finding micro movements from your toes, your ankles, your fingers, and your wrists. You can slowly start to stretch out your body by inhale, bringing your knees all the way up towards your chest and bringing your arms up above head and letting it out with the cleansing sound. And very slowly navigating your body to the side of the room and coming into a comfortable seated position with your palms into the heart center. And then as we end our class here today, just giving yourself and your climbing neighbors on this virtual space the gratitude for making it to today's class and challenging yourself when it was available, and also giving yourself some compassion when it was needed for your body. Hoping peace be still for the rest of your night, and namaste. Well, thank you everybody for attending the 7 p.m. Hatha class that we had tonight. I really appreciate it, as well as Adventure Rock as a whole for being a member. Wanted to say thank you as well for those who have donated blood tonight during the day, as well as purchasing a Danger Buddy hangboard. It makes us very appreciative that you support our business, but more importantly, that you support the community as a whole. You can join me for my morning flow, my yin class, and my slow flow on Thursday in the morning and the rest at night. And other than that, I hope everybody has a great rest of your night. And thank you so much.